On this edition of The Truth, we're going to talk about how media is officially dead and gone in 2019. We're also going to talk about how the Democrats have stepped in the biggest pile of dog shit I have ever seen, and they can't scrape it off their shoes no matter how hard they try. Pure and simple. Now, for the last 2 years, I've heard about, the Russians, and how Mueller's going to bring down this presidency, saying that how he's going to get thrown out of office, how he's going to get handcuffed, that all his socialists are going to get thrown out of office, and his kids are going to get arrested, and everything else that you can think of. I'm not making that up one bit. So the last 2 years, you had CNN, MSNBC, all these major news networks that kept on pushing this bias agenda, going Russian collusion. Every night for the last 2 years, they've been pushing this narrative saying that somehow Trump rigged the election in his favor, and it was everything you could think of, and you're sitting there going, God, this is getting freaking annoying. Until finally, the Mueller report actually comes out and says, there's no evidence at all. There's no collusion. There's nothing, nada, nip, nay, nothing you can think of. And it's over with. Pure and simple. And the media absolutely shits an egg roll because they start freaking out. You had Rachel Maddow literally crying on CNN, and I'm not making up. You guys can look it up, Google it, whatever. She was actually crying because she was hoping and praying to God, even though she probably doesn't believe in God, that there's something there on this man, that Mueller had something. You had Chris Matthews, freaking all the CNN hosts you can name from A to Z. Same thing with CNN and everything else. That how all these sources were completely wrong and completely had no idea what the fuck they were talking about. Pure and simple. Now they're all pissed. They're going, Mueller's the enemy. Mueller's lying. Mueller has to be part of the Trump conspiracy theory, and he's covering for him. And it's going, no. There is no evidence at all. Pure and simple. Now we go on to our next point, which is the Democratic Party, and how they stepped in the biggest pile of shit I have ever seen. Literally, for 2 years they've been pushing that narrative, saying that somehow that there's a Russian conspiracy theory and somehow there's collusion and everything. No. You guys put up a very crappy presidential candidate that got her ass kicked. Pure and simple. There's no conspiracy about it. You put up a candidate and the American people voted and said, we have two choices, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. Pure and simple. People sat there and said, you know what? We're voting for Trump. Because we don't like her. Pure and simple. That was the end of it. And the media and top of the Democratic Party started losing their minds, going, how the hell did this guy get elected? Well, because the American people decided. It's not that hard. It's kind of like the popular girl going, hey, do you want the fat, ugly one, or do you want the somewhat attractive one? It's kind of like one or the other. But again, that may be a hard thing to hear, but it is the truth. Now, I've heard people say anyone but Trump, but the problem is you sit there and say, what about a socialist? What about a communist? And they shut up instantly. I said, well, that's the Democratic Party. That's your candidates. That's what you guys have. And it's not really good because you guys have shit on one side and you have something over here that, hey, everything's working, everything's running like a well-oiled machine, and they start freaking out and start getting mad really quickly. And the thing is, when it comes to the pile of shit the Democrats, stepped in, is they put all the hopes and dreams into this investigation. They got egg on their face, and when you have reporters actually going up to them and saying, hey, are you going to retract your statement? Are you going to say this and that? They're like, no, I'm not. No. There still needs to be more investigation, even though the investigation is completely over and done with, which basically means Trump is no longer going to get investigated. All his socialists are not going to get investigated. Anything that had to do anything with this case is officially done and over with. completely. And this is where someone like Nancy Pelosi, which I completely disagree with, Larry Lightfoot, but I agree with her on this point, pure and simple. When she says out loud, going, "Hey, look, this investigation is done and over with, pure and simple. We are not going to impeach him." She said that there's no more investigations. Stop. That's the end of it. But she's completely lost control of her party. Because the Democrats that are actually running for the presidency of the United States have said out loud that we need to do more investigation. We want to, go after Mueller now. We want to bring him in front of a Senate and question him. Going, he's not going to do that. You guys have lost. You put all your eggs into this. Now, anyone that's running for the presidency of the United States on the Democrat side, you have to run off your merits. And their merits are not good, or their policies are not good. Pure and simple. When you have a senator like Nancy Pelosi saying, if you guys do that, if you keep pushing that a narrative, we're going to get creamed in 2020. And the thing is, I actually agree with her on that point. You will get creamed. You will get annihilated. Because now all of a sudden, the investigation's over with. Democrats have lost their minds. You have to go off for your policies now. And what do you think the American people are going to say? That you want to tax me at 70 or 90%? You want me to, pay for everyone else and so on and so forth? You want free college, free health care, the Green New Deal, everything you can think of? You want to restrict my rights to free speech. You want to restrict my rights when it comes to, owning a firearm. Yeah, that's going to go over well, really well in the end. Just saying. But at the same time, the Democratic Party will never learn their lesson in the end. You put all your eggs in the basket on one side, nothing came of it. Now you have to run off your policies. And I feel really sorry for you. Actually, no, I don't. I'm actually smiling because, well, you did it to yourself.